Welcome to our world of English. It's essential to know what's going on around the world. Do you have the habit of reading newspaper? This habit will widen your outlook and enrich your knowledge. The newspaper and news channels help us in this regard, and catchy headlines attract us to jump in that news. Come, let's try to write attractive headlines for the news report. Before going to the main session, let's have a look on conversation.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. What about you?
Yeah, I'm good. Have you read today's newspaper? What's today's news?
No, I didn't. Is there anything special? I don't get time to read as I am so busy with my works at home and at school. But sometimes I feel embarrassing people around me talking about the current issues.
So pity. Then, shall I suggest to get out of this trouble?
Yes, please.
It's better to have a look on the headlines, which helps you to understand the gist of the whole newspaper.
Thanks for the good suggestion.
Business and sports updates as well, but first a look at the headlines. Prime Minister Modi to address the ongoing 14th Conference of the Parties of United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification being held at Greater Noida in Uttar Pradesh. This conference is being held at a time when India has assumed the COP presidency for 2 years. Prime Minister Modi addresses a massive rally in Rohtak in Haryana, says the first 100 days of the NDA government's second term has been of development, trust and big changes in the country. He also inaugurates and lays the foundation stone of various development projects. President Ramnath Kovind embarks on a three-nation visit to Iceland, Switzerland and Slovenia. The visit aims to boost bilateral relations with these nations. In international news, US says it hopes to get back to denuclearization talks with North Korea in the coming days. North Korea fired a series of short-range missiles in the recent weeks in protest against the US-South Korea joint military exercises, complicating the reopening of the talks. In sports news, in the US Open men's singles final, Spain's Rafael Nadal wins his fourth US Open title and the 19th major championship with a 7-5, 6-3, 5-7, 4-6, 6-4 win over Russia's Daniil Medvedev after 4 hours and 50-minute long match. And Australia beat England by 185 runs in the fourth test at the Old Trafford, retains the Ashes.
Shall we learn the important role of headlines in our daily life? When writing a news report for newspaper or your school news board, headlines makes first and foremost impression. Writing headlines is a critical and creative art. To get the gist of the news, most of the people read only news headlines. How can you define the news headlines? An assembly of words written in a bigger, bolder letters than the usual page text at the beginning of the news. It's not a title. It is simple and catchy. It says what the news is about. Students, can you see the headlines in this newspaper? It looks big and bolder, catchy, isn't it? The functions of the headlines. It should convey the significance and seriousness of the story to the high readers. To attract readers, to tell the story, to add a variety of type, to identify personality of newspaper, to index or grade the news. That means big type for important news, small type for less important. A headline should speak out and stimulate the reader. It's essential to know How should be the headline language? Headline language is elliptical and compressed. It is very important for the readers to study and understand the headlines. What choice often results in exaggeration in meaning? Short and rhyming words are preferred. Many students have difficulty in understanding newspaper headlines. This is because they are often incomplete sentences, that is, difficult times ahead. Let's know the tips in headline writing. First, read the story for a general meaning. That means read the article in full and make note the details of the first paragraph. Then, close to the headlines are usually in the lead. What happened? Who did what? And how did it happen? For example, in an article about migrants found dead in a truck in Vienna, the first sentence of the article might read, the decomposing bodies of as many as 50 people assumed to be migrants being smuggled across Europe were found in a truck abandoned on highway east of Vienna on Thursday, the police said. You may have then highlight key details that should be included in the headline, such as the location of the incident, that is, Austria, the number of people dead, as many as 50, who the people were, migrants, and where they were found. They were found in an abandoned truck. Your headline may then be, Austria finds up to 50 bodies thought to be migrants in truck. Use the shortest words possible. Examples included here are cop. Instead of writing policeman, you can write cop. Instead of writing arrest, you can use nab. And mishap for accident. When you are referring increase, you can use up. For decrease, you can use down. Thief for robber. Here is a guide to the most common exceptions found in newspaper headlines. Noun phrases. Headlines often contain a noun phrase with no verb. A noun phrase describes a noun. Here are some examples of noun phrase headlines. Prime Minister has given advice. This is the wrong usage of noun phrase. Let's see which one is the right to use. Prime Minister's advice. Prime Minister's advice. Unexpected visit. When you read such type of phrases as headlines, certainly doubts would arise in our brain. The questions I can ask myself are, from whom? Why was the visit unexpected? Who was visited? Etc. Then you will begin preparing yourself for the article. These questions will help focus my mind on vocabulary related to relationships, traveling, surprises, important reasons for visits, etc. The next one, noun strings. Another common headline form is a string of 3, 4 or more nouns together. These can be difficult because the words don't appear related by verbs or adjectives. Let's see the examples. A complaint made by customer about a referral program for Honda car, but this is the wrong usage. Then let's see which is the correct one. Honda referral customer complaint. Here you can see more number of nouns in a string like Honda, customer, complaint. All these are nouns in a form of string. In this case of noun strings, try to connect the ideas by reading backwards. Like, by reading backward, I can guess that there is a complaint made by customer about a referral program for Honda car. Of course, you need to use your imagination for this. Let's move to the third one, various verb changes. There are a number of verb changes made to headlines. The most common are the simple tense form is used instead of the continuous or perfect form. See, the first one is teachers are protesting salary cuts. As we already told that we should not use the continuous form, then what would be the simple tense for this protest? So the right one is teachers protest salary cuts. Then let's move to the next example. A forgotten brother has appeared. Here you can see has appeared. It is in perfect form. Let's see what would be the right one. Forgotten brother appears. Appears is in simple form. The infinite form refers to the future. See, let's see the example like Chief Minister will inaugurate craft bazaar. According to the rule given above, we need not mention the future tense in the sentence. Instead of that, we can take infinite form. That means 2 plus V1 form. The right one is here. Chief Minister to inaugurate craft bazaar. To inaugurate. Minister is going to visit Machel soon. The right one is minister to visit Machel. Let's move to the fifth one. Drop auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb is dropped in the passive form. A man has been killed in an accident. Have you noticed the auxiliary verb in this sentence? Yes, it has been. Then according to our rule, auxiliary verb should be dropped. Then what would be the correct one? Man killed in an accident. Then move to the next one. Tommy the dog has been named a hero. Here has been should be dropped from this sentence. Then our headlines would be like this. Tommy the dog named the hero. Sixth rule, drop articles. Articles should be dropped. Full stops are not placed after headlines. Perhaps we have noticed in the examples already discussed above that both definite and indefinite articles are also dropped in newspaper headlines. For example, the president has declared a celebration. Here the articles are the and a. According to our sixth rule, we should drop the articles. Then our news headlines would be President declares celebration. Then move to the next one. A passenger has seen a woman jump into the river. If you drop the articles, the right headlines would be Passenger sees a woman jump. Last one, initials and abbreviations. Headlines may contain initials and abbreviations. Let's see the example. India to host South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation meet in Uttar Pradesh. As per the seventh rule, we need not write full forms. Then we can write like this. India to host SAAC meet in UP. Instead of writing Uttar Pradesh, we can write UP. Instead of writing South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, we can write the abbreviation for this like SAAC. Children, here is the homework for you. It's better to pause the video and try to attempt the exercise. Exercise 1. Match these newspaper headlines with the following categories. Categories: noun phrase, noun string, articles dropped, infinite to indicate future, and some of the headlines were given here. Then I hope you will try and get results. Exercise 2. Write headline for the following news report. Hyderabad. With an alarming rise in cases of missing people, especially in women and children since 2009, the police have stepped up to trace them in coordination with various agencies and police forces. Children, come.